You know, there are scriptures that talk about the advantages of youth and the advantages of older age. Proverbs 20:29 says this: "The glory of young men is their strength, and the beauty of old men is the gray head." Now, I do have some gray, not as much as I used to have, but that is a reference to wisdom in the Bible, gray-haired people. Job 12, verse 12 says, "With the ancient," in other words, the elderly, "with the ancient is wisdom, and in length of days, understanding." In Titus chapter 2, it tells a lot about older men and older women and what they should teach the young men and the young women. It's a great chapter on mentoring. When we get older, we can think of things we might have done differently if we had it to do over and if we had known what we know today. Decades of life provide a perspective that we can't get anywhere else. As I've gotten older, I can look back and I can think of people that crossed my path in life that I would like to spend more time with if I had it to do over. You know, there's an advantage in learning things early in life that you can help avoid trouble later in life by learning those things. You may have heard the saying that youth is wasted on the young. Well, I want to tell you a personal story this morning. I have the privilege of spending time with a teenage boy who is special to us, to our family. He's 14, he's very strong, he's very fast, he loves playing football and basketball. He's also smart. He's a good learner and a hard worker. He helps me with all kinds of jobs that he does some of the heavy stuff for me. He helps me drag logs out of the woods for firewood, and he splits wood by hand, stacking it away for me. He helped build a heavy elevated garden box with me, and he did the heavy duty digging and lifting to put in a new culvert in our pond. And when we get together, we talk about a lot of things. He's fun to work with and fun to know. Now, he plays video games, as a lot of young people do. That's way before my generation. He wanted to show me some of them. So I looked, and he showed me Minecraft, a very popular one. And it would be easy to say, why do young people waste their time doing this? But you know what I saw as he was showing me this? How creative he was, how he had good spatial comprehension, he could visualize things. So when he and I get together, we like to talk. We talk about sports, talk about favorite foods, Dr. Pepper, snakes, his hairstyle compared to mine. We even talk about finances and how to manage them. And what I enjoy knowing is that he is learning things, and just by spending time with me, it's going to benefit him later in life if he remembers these things and applies them. Not because I'm special, but because there's always something to learn from our seniors. It's very easy to criticize young people. You could say, you know, what's wrong with these people? It's not the way it was when I was growing up. Well, this is actually the way it's always been. Solomon says in Ecclesiastes that there's nothing new under the sun. But we can purposefully make sure that our young people around us benefit from our experience. This can come naturally in our families when we spend time with grandchildren and times like that. But what about all the young people around us? Young people in our church, young people in our neighborhood, people that cross our paths, and some maybe that we purposely avoid when we shouldn't. And by young people, I don't just mean teenagers. There are young adults, some married with families, that can learn from older adults. One observer of this generational difference said this, and I quote, "Young adults love getting to know other people, really getting to know them, hearing their stories, finding things we have in common, enjoying differences and learning from one another. The hard part for members of the older generations is getting past the younger generation's hard candy shell. You see, many came from broken homes and don't really know what it means to have a healthy marriage, let alone a healthy dating life, or how to have a truly healthy relationship. That finishes the quote. But don't think for a minute that younger people don't want to hear what you have to say. There was a man in my past who was called Pop Fielder. He was a custodian at a little high school in Ohio. He was loved by the young people. They even dedicated a yearbook to him one year. When he died at 93, his paper delivery boy, a young teenager, came to his funeral because of the friendship that he had received. Pop Fielder was a senior who reached across the generations. I also got to spend some time with him when I was younger because Pop was my wife's father. I'd like to spend more time with Pop, and one day I will. Looking forward to it. Now in the Bible, Paul gives us an example of a senior mentoring a younger. His protege, Timothy, he treated almost like a son. That's how much he cared about Timothy. Well, who do you know that is part of our church or part of your neighborhood, part of your life, that's at least one generation behind you? What would happen if you just called him up? I'll call him up to encourage him in this difficult time we're going through right now. You might start a wonderful relationship. You might make an impact on their lives, maybe even an impact on their eternity. Give it a try. Reach out to a younger generation.